Hey, we're back here at the NAMM Show 2019 at the Drum Talk TV booth, 6732. Come by, say hi, throw money at us. No, I'm kidding about the last part. I'm here with my brother Jason Barnes, who has an amazing story of perseverance and passion and just having a great attitude. How are you?
Thanks, Dan. Good. How about you, man?
I'm wonderful. It's so good to always see you in person. You know, it's one thing communicating through email, text, phone call, Zoom, but to see people in person is the best.
Yeah, always get that personal connection with everyone. It's always great to see you too, Dan.
Oh, thank you. So Jason's story, if you don't know, is that he lost part of his arm in an industrial electrocution accident. Not the best convenient thing for a drummer, right? So he ended up, he'll tell more of the story, but he ended up working with Georgia Tech to develop some ways that he could still have an arm, a prosthesis, to play drums. Let's talk about that, because you've got a few different versions of this.
Yeah. So shortly after I got electrocuted, I developed this version with my prosthetic company. And so basically it just works off basic mechanics. I use a kick drum spring to help with the rebound, and what this does is it allows me to get double strokes and play like certain rudiments to a certain speed.
And I'm going to ask Marvin to zoom in.
Yeah. And so, a pivot point here where your fingers would be, and a pivot point here where your wrist would be, and then the spring that gets the rebound. And so it basically exaggerates what my elbow does, and so it allows me to get like rudiments again up to a certain speed. And then I came up with an idea to develop a more advanced robotic version of this, which was funded from the National Science Foundation, and I collaborated with Georgia Tech to develop it. And the way it works is via EMG sensors, which are essentially just amplified piezo triggers, and you put them on your muscles, and just like they would pick up you striking a drum, it's the same way. You send a signal through the muscle, it picks up in the piezo, and then sends a signal to the hand, and the drum arm would act accordingly. So I could create patterns or tighten or loosen my grip on the stick, etc. And then to further advance that, we're now actually working on ultrasound sensors to hopefully replace EMG sensors. And with ultrasound, as you know, it produces an image. And so EMG is just an electrical signal, and so 0 to 100 isn't very much data, but if you put an ultrasound sensor on the arm, any small muscle movements, anything can be translated and picked up. And so we've actually had success with a 3D printed hand. I have like 98% accuracy. I can play piano with all 5 of my fingers.
Wow, 98%.
Yeah, so
My hand doesn't have that kind of accuracy for itself.
Yeah, no, it's completely wild. It's still in the prototype stages right now, so there's about a second delay and a little bit of latency. But just the accuracy that it has is amazing, and applications go further than just the piano hand. We can also use it for the drum arm to actually make that way more dexterous.
You know, it's so amazing, and one of the things I personally get out of that is through listening to what you're saying, the understanding of how our body works and how fascinating and almost miraculous it is, not to get cheesy or anything, but our muscles, the electro signals through our nerves and muscles, and how it really all works. I really truly believe we all take for granted that, hey, I'm in this bag of bones and I can move shit, you know? And this just kind of really starts to bring it to reality, you know?
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, losing it was like, you don't really realize how much you lost, I guess, until you did. And then like even like my technique has like, I've realized I had bad technique before I lost my arm, and then you start kind of developing this like new way to play, and you're like, it actually has like kind of made me a better drummer in a way, if that makes any sense. It's just kind of given me more of a push and like the inspiration and the drive to try and push myself.
That's awesome, and I think that's the best part of your story is the inspiration and the drive and the persistence to get past what happened to you. A lot of people, unfortunately, they turn to some bad stuff. You know, they get dark, they close in, they get reclusive, and they lose their passion for whatever it was, whether they're a musician or an architect or whatever. And no offense to Dory, who's an architect who works with us, but I just, that's the best part of your story. It's like, really, people, you think you had a bad day? Check out this story. You know what I mean?
Well, the best part about it is music is actually what kind of saved my life, you know? I mean, I was completely depressed, didn't know how I was going to carry on, you know, and that one day, dragging my drum kit out and setting it up and taping a drumstick to my residual limb that still had bandages on it was like the turning point. And, you know, I thought about turning to bad stuff. I thought about being really negative with life, but I mean, because of like my passion with the drums and percussion and then like music as well, it kind of helped me push through all of that.
That's awesome. And speaking of that, you're playing a cover band. What kind of music do you like to play?
So I play like a lot of different stuff. I play reggae, metal, I make electronic music. So yeah, I'm all over the map.
That's awesome. And you're still doing a little speaking for Georgia Tech, or?
Yeah, we still travel, and we showcase some of the technology we have, so some of the other musical robots we have, and then the robotic drum arm, and we essentially just kind of explain how everything works and then give everybody about an hour-long performance. We recently just played in Utrecht, and outside of Amsterdam. That was an awesome experience.
How can people follow you to keep up with
they can add me on Facebook if you type in Jason Barnes Drums. That's the easiest way to find me, or you can find me on Instagram, Jason Barnes Drums as well. Usually pops up pretty quick.
Great. Thanks for taking some time with us during a busy NAMM Show schedule. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for following Jason and myself here at the NAMM Show 2019 Drum Talk TV coverage. We'll be back with more.